Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Tengan todos ustedes, queridos amigos y amigas de su programa Tacoma Radio Universal presenta. Hoy tenemos una entrevista muy, pero muy especial. Welcome everyone to Voice Tacoma Presenta. We have a special interview today, and I'm going to be switching from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, because our guest here is still practicing his Spanish, and I know that that can be a little challenging for some people. So I'm not going to put him on the spot, and I want him to feel comfortable here with us, and I want to thank Frank Gonzales for being here with us today. Thank you for this interview, Frank. He is our neighbor. He works, he's a staff team member at the Tahoma Indian Center here in the first tower building here at the Tacoma, actually Common Good Tacoma, of course, in the city of the Destiny. So, how are you, Frank?
Good. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Doing good. Yo le pregunto cómo está, Frank. Me dice que muy bien. Y como les dije hace un momentito en inglés, él es parte del equipo de la organización Tahoma Indian Center, quienes son nuestros vecinos aquí en el edificio, en la primera torre, en donde están nuestros estudios. Y bueno, pues como buenos vecinos, he estado deseoso de tener esta conversación, esta entrevista con él, porque me gustaría dar a conocer a la comunidad lo que hace Tahoma Indian Center, precisamente para la comunidad. Así que vamos a estar aquí diciéndolo en inglés y en español. So what I'm saying is the important for me, and I've been looking for this interview with you, with Tahoma Indian Center, because I would like to share with our community what Tahoma Indian Center is all about.
Right.
So, but first, we'd like to hear a little bit about the story of the person that is, in the interview. So what, are you a Washingtonian? Did you grow up here?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona originally.
Phoenix, okay.
Yeah. I was born there in 77, and I've bounced around the country. I've been through 37 states, lived in half of them, lived in Germany and Holland as a little kid. My stepdad was in the military.
Oh, wow.
My family is, my mom's white, my dad is Mexican Apache. My nana and data come from Mexico in the 50s. He's from Sonora area, and my nana, she's from Mexico City.
Wow. So you're been all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're coming from like different origins,
Yeah.
Mexican, and here the people that has been in the country for like generations now, and wow. So that's pretty, I'm sure that maybe people get a little surprised when you tell your story, right? Because we see sometimes the people and we see the person, and we use our imagination, but mostly we go for what we just perceive, what we have maybe seen in like movies, in the TV,
right.
Especially when you see someone with a male with long hair, and that's like, oh, it's a native person. So that's a very, I'll say like a common characteristic,
Yeah.
And then maybe I took that as a question, So the long hair is a tradition. It's
it's pretty common with natives. It's there's different practices depending upon which tribe, because every culture is different within the tribes. But it's generally looked at as it's your root to the earth, to the mother, and so most tribes don't cut their hair. Apaches are different. every spring you would cut off just the trimmings.
Oh, okay.
And basically, like, rebirths of the earth for springtime, rebirths of your hair. So and then there's different practices. Some bury it, some burn it, and then but only time a Native person would really cut their hair is like at death. Is like someone at death, like their mother or father passed, then they would cut their hair off. So sometimes it's all the hair, sometimes it's just a decent amount.
So it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but it's like to say to the world, to your community, that you have pain, that you were sad, or it's just a way to, like, I don't know, maybe to say properly goodbye, maybe for now.
It's like that. Yeah, it's like kind of like a mix of all of that.
Oh, okay.
Because usually, like, if someone who traditionally has long hair, if they cut it, it's people will realize that someone has probably passed on, and then
I seen in movies, so people like just cutting their hair in protest, like when they're protesting for something,
right.
But that's why I'm like, okay, well, people has around the world different reasons why they cut or they trim, their hair. So, lo que estaba preguntándole a Fran, para aquellos que están practicando su inglés, es pues un poquito de sus raíces, ¿no? De lo sorprendente que es su historia, ya que pues tendemos siempre a utilizar a lo mejor los estereotipos, ¿no? Cuando vemos a una persona, un varón, ¿no? Un hombre con pelo largo, pues vemos sus características y asumimos, ¿verdad? Que es una persona pues nativa. En este caso, bueno, sus raíces son apaches mexicanas, y él nos está platicando, ¿no? Que una de estas tradiciones pues es el pelo largo, ¿no? Dependiendo de muchas cosas, pero también dice pues cuando no lo hemos cortado, cuando se supone que cada primavera es cuando simplemente lo despuntamos, ¿no? Pero siempre lo mantenemos largo, es una tradición. Y también cuando vemos a alguno de nuestros seres queridos partir en señal de como una despedida, es algo que ellos tienen como tradición. Así que muy interesante. Thank you, Frank, for sharing that with us. And now, so from Arizona to Washington through like 37 states, so is this the 37, or you went somewhere else and came back?
No, this is 37.
This is 37. Yeah. Okay, great. So how long you been in Washington?
10.5 years.
10.5?
Yeah, that's my favorite place of anywhere in the country.
Oh, okay.
Most of the country is backwards, racist. Like, I said, the main difference, like being a person of color, here versus like rest of the country, or like especially like the Midwest and the South, is representation. Because it took me a minute to realize what it was. That's what it is. It's because here you can see, like in the Midwest, it's pretty much like my high school. It was my family from Guatemala, 2 black families, and 99% white. And like there was like active KKK members 1 town south of where I was. So like I grew up like not knowing who I was. I knew who I was genetically, but I didn't see any people like me. So there's a lot of not knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And my mom who grew up there but didn't grow up in the other society, in other societies, she kind of was always like, be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
She was proud of my father. She was proud of my heritage. So she always kept that.
And at some point, I think that that especially when you are not mature enough to like understanding your world, sometimes you ask yourself, like, should I supposed to be like everybody else,
Yeah,
or
that's very much,
very much like that. So
well, it was like, what's wrong with me? That's what it was. It was like, everyone else is like this. Why am I not like that? Not understanding, I just didn't connect. Luckily, I had my cousin who was he's half Kokopah, which is another tribe out of Arizona, so I could connect with him. He was kind of my savior in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bueno, lo que nos comparte Frank en resumen, ¿no? Es que, por ejemplo, él tuvo este desafío, ¿no? De encontrar su identidad y de mantener su identidad, ¿no? Cuando le pregunté si este es su residencia número 37, porque nos platicó que aunque él nació en Arizona, pero tuvo la oportunidad de vivir en 36 estados, 35 estados aparte de Arizona y de este lugar tan maravilloso que es Washington. Dice que ha pasado, ya tiene 10 años y medio en este lugar. Y pues aquí se quedó porque ha encontrado algo pues que lo ha hecho sentirse bienvenido, a diferencia de los otros 35 estados en donde sufrió discriminación, racismo, ¿no? Y pues sobre todo la incomprensión de tal vez del resto de las personas y pues de las cuales él se sentía bastante diferente, ¿no? Entonces estamos hablando un poquito de este choque cultural que haya uno cuando es uno joven, cuando es uno niño y cuando piensas que tienes que ser como el resto de los demás cuando en realidad no lo eres, ¿verdad? Porque por tus raíces. Así que, so this is getting interesting. So, how did that happen? So Tahoma Indian Center found you? That means like someone that works there, I don't know, maybe the director like get to see you somewhere, maybe in an event and they invite you, or you found them?
I found them. I was working downtown at the old spaghetti factory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've worked in kitchens for 20 years as a cook. I've traveled this country being a cook in kitchens.
I'm not going to make a commercial to them for free, but I like them very much. Oh, yeah, I like that restaurant very much. So.
And so I was leaving work one day, and they had a pop-up tent with a drum and a bunch of people, and I walked by to go to my bus stop, and it's really hard for me to meet a lot of people in groups of people. I'm just not good with that. But I walked by and I turned around and I was like, let's go talk. And I met Colette and met other people that were working for the Indian Center at the time.
Wow.
And so Colette was like, this is what we do, this is what we offer, and I was just like, I didn't grow up in Native society. I don't know anything about this. I grew up in very white societies. And so she was like, it doesn't matter, you know. And she was like, so I started following her on Facebook, and they had looking for volunteers. So I worked 5 days at the restaurant and 1 or 2 days of my days off working there, volunteering, cooking and helping, cleaning, whatever's needed.
Okay.
Even to this day, that's my title.
So since then, you kind of like start feeling not only welcome, but that you found like a place where you feel like you belong to.
Yeah, right? It was kind of like the missing connection. It was just like, me and my lady just moved to Washington out of the whim, really. So I was like, I lived in Portland, and I was like, this is cool. KNW's cool. Let's move here.
Right. So maybe this question is going to be now, maybe very obvious, but what do you think about the Northwest, like how the people is? Because even when we have more new people coming from different places, but to me, when I came in, like, let's say at the end of the 90s, I found this place like one of the most welcoming places when I've been, you know, and like people seeing you and not assuming that you're not from here, you know. But actually, like assuming that you are that I was one of them, you know. Right. And even when my strong accent, you know, when my English was, worse, but they were very patient and they were very understanding, you know. And seemed like most of them, they were so used to see people coming here from, all over the world.
Right.
And that's what I found super different, not like. Even in California, when it's true, I'm not lying, but I face some discrimination, but not from white people, from my own brown skin color people, that were asking me for some things that I didn't have at that time, to comply with, like to sign a contract for renting an apartment. It's like, come on, but not here in Washington, so I kind of like identify with what you're saying, and
cause that's how it was. Is like when I moved to Portland, it only lasted 6 months. I was renting a room and then moved back to Florida, and then eventually ended up here. Yeah. But like, it just felt like home. Like I've been in Arizona since '91, so since I was like 12, 13. Wow. So I have not much. I don't really count that as my birth, but I really don't know much about Arizona. Yeah. But this place, when I moved here, felt like home because it was like very connecting. It's kind of like, it's kind of like the saying, like, come as you are. They just accept you how you are. They don't really judge you too much. The weather is great. The scenery, I always wanted to live around mountains.
Well, it is scarily is becoming very nice, and I say this scarily because we know that it's not common. It's not good to see like winters like the one we just experienced, that was like very hot winter,
Right.
and these long and dry summers, because it wasn't like that like 20 years ago here. For those that we've been here for more than a quarter of a century, it wasn't like that. People had not a lot of desire to come to here because it was infamous for all the rain and all the cloudy days and all the sadness that can bring to people. It was very common that people were like experiencing depression.
Yeah, it's like a seasonal
with some time, because we didn't get to see the sun. But now it's changing, now it's changing. But even since then, I don't know, maybe that was one of the reasons why, people were so like social, I will say, because that was one of the good tools to fight depression, to fight mental health problems such as depression, by socializing, by excuse me. But now with all these like I would say like changes in the weather, it's tricking our flowers, and now I don't know, but I think the pollen is out, and for people that we are like getting like those allergies like every year is now
Right.
starting early, and it's making me feel like I'm sick, but I promise I'm not sick. I don't have a flu. I don't have
he's not
cold.
sick.
I'm not sick, it's just my voice.
Right.
So, de verdad es que ha sido interesante esta primera parte de la conversación con Frank, ¿verdad? No sé si ustedes han podido, captar, ¿verdad? Nuevamente, para aquellos que están practicando su inglés, pues nos seguimos platicando acerca de lo importante que ha sido esta identidad y sobre todo de cómo él descubrió y cómo se sintió bienvenido en esta parte de Estados Unidos que le llamamos el noroeste, que es prácticamente pues el estado de Oregon, o podríamos decir la mitad del estado de Oregon y el estado de Washington, un poquito parte tal vez de Idaho, ¿no? Y algunas áreas, pero sobre todo esta parte de Washington en el que estamos pegados al océano, ¿no? A las aguas del Pacífico. Desde hace más de 25 años que yo llegué, ¿no? Pues pude también percibir esa característica de muchas personas con una mentalidad bastante abierta, muy acostumbrados, ¿no? A tener gente o a recibir personas de todas partes del mundo, con mucha paciencia para aquellos que no hablábamos bien inglés en aquel entonces, y sobre todo pues con un sentido así como de pues considerarte ya parte de uno de ellos y decirte, pues, bienvenido al noroeste, ¿verdad? Esperemos que te guste lo suficiente como para que te quedes, ¿no? Lo que hablaba con Frank es que desafortunadamente el clima, el cambio climático ha estado cambiando, que ha hecho de esta parte del estado por la cual hace muchos años personas tal vez no deseaban venir aquí por lo infame que era pues la cantidad de lluvia que recibimos, ¿no? Durante el año, el clima tal vez tan inhóspito que puede llegar a ser ya casi pues a mitad del verano y a principios de la primavera, y sobre todo porque pues con tanta ausencia de sol pues muchas personas tendían a ponerse deprimidas, ¿no? A tener pues problemas con su ánimo, su estado de ánimo, y bueno, pues tal vez esa es la razón por la cual también muchas personas se preocupan por mantenerse socialmente activas. Entonces, combinando con todos esos elementos, ¿no? Pues Frank se hizo sentirse aquí pues bienvenido, ¿no? Y pues le pregunté que quién descubrió a quién, ¿verdad? Si Tahoma Indian Center lo encontró a él o él encontró a Tahoma Indian Center. Nos platicaba que él era cocinero en un restaurante muy popular aquí en la ciudad de Tacoma, y pues él conoció a parte de lo que venía siendo los que trabajaban en este centro, en esta organización, y él fue el que se acercó más bien a ellos y preguntarles, hey, ¿qué es lo que hacen, verdad? Ellos pues amigablemente le explicaron, le dijeron, lo invitaron, ¿no? a venir, y comenzó como voluntario utilizando sus habilidades de cocinero, haciendo lo que podía, hasta que pues prácticamente un día le ofrecieron entonces un empleo y ahora pues es prácticamente uno de los pilares que pues ayuda a la organización a seguir yendo. So I made a brief, like summary of what, I mentioned your job at the restaurant and then how you meet the staff of the team of the Tahoma Indian Center. They invite you, you come as volunteer, just to like put your skills to work, but you were excited to see that organization was like doing maybe what you were dreaming, before. So that's fantastic. So tell us now about Tahoma Indian Center. What has been, how long they've been, in Tacoma, or how long the organization has been here in the community, and what is basically what's the mission? If you don't have to maybe like see it, literally, but
right.
But if you, I'm sure you understand it, and you had it maybe. What's the mission? What is the vision, of this organization?
So Tahoma Indian Center has been around for over 30 years. It started in the 90s, a necessity for needing a place for natives to go. Because there was like the Puyallup tribe on the east side, but there wasn't any general place. Like ours is all tribes.
Okay.
Like everyone that works there is from a different tribe. It doesn't matter what tribe you're from. And so for most of the time, the center has been like just a drop-in center, and it still holds that. But we also offer other things. We have a culture night once a month. We have survivor of suicide once a month. We have carving 3 times a week with Rick Williams out of Seattle. I make food on those days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I take the extra food. I take it to the east side of town for dropping it off to the homeless natives on the streets.
It's for I would say the typical listener that has been in the country for maybe like 15 years, I don't know, maybe 10 years, and they have no chance to like discover or to like meet like all the diversity that we have here in the communities with our poor knowledge about the tribes here. We come from many different countries, but many of us, we didn't really think about like, okay, well, besides our brothers and sisters in the white community, there's some other people that were here before them, before the colony, and there's people that is being like displaced, there's people that is being like segregated, there's people that they don't identify with the, let's say, with the predominant, if we can call it, culture, or the predominant majority, because like you say, a place for people from different tribes to go. When someone is maybe here, maybe hired by one of the companies, or maybe move because the rest of the family move, maybe the spouse, maybe, but they have their, just like you have a parent, you have your roots with the Apache Mexican tribe, and you come here, but that doesn't necessarily or automatically make you connect direct with the tribes that are here, like such a Puyallup, or maybe Nisqually, because it's like you're still like a foreigner, right? Like and you come here and like, okay, where do I connect with some brothers and sisters like me, that are looking for those specific things that make us our traditions, our cultures to practice, or to keep embracing, or even to socialize with people that think like me. So I see why now it's important, Frank. At the beginning, I have to, confess that I really like think about that. I was like, well, I guess our brothers and sisters in the Puyallup tribe are probably very welcoming to like other tribes, but that doesn't happen just like showing up and like, hey, Hikes is here. I mean, it's there is a process, right?
Well, that's also like where I fit in is because my people are Apaches out of Mexico, there is no U.S. I don't have a tribal card because Mexico doesn't work like that.
Right.
And so so me to get services like with a tribe, I would have you be First Nation from Canada, or Alaskan tribe, which is also like, AKA Native American, or in the States. So like outside of that, like it's not counted, because like a lot of people even in South United States, are tribal, pre 1500s were tribal, still tribal to this extent, but a lot of people have been detribalized. So there's always this gray area. Like when I always explain myself, I say I'm Mexican Apache, and that means, because if I'm just Apache, they're like, which reservation? San Carlos, White Mountain, et cetera. And it's like, my people don't come from reservation. My people come from Mexico. So that's why I was identified as a Mexican Apache, because it's like, and most people don't understand what that means, because it's like, what do you mean you're not, what reservation? What do you mean you don't have a tribal card? And it's like, because like it's completely different, United States pull up versus south of the United States. It's looked at completely different.
Yeah.
And so I can't get the same services as everyone else. I can't go to the tribal health clinic because I don't have a tribal card, because it doesn't work like that.
Wow.
It's like this whole gray area.
Yeah. Well, thank you for explaining, some of the many things at the Tahoma Indian Center, and I'm also happy to hear that it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
When are you celebrating the 30 years?
No,
that happened already?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. Yeah,
okay.
30 plus
wow.
Right now. Yeah.
So that's great. So I see people when I've been upstairs at the suite, that they come and they greet people like if they know them already. Like if it's like, I don't know, you guys have that ability to make anybody like welcome, and always like with a smile. I'm pretty sure that as an organization, as individuals, that you have your own challenges in life, but when you are like there, like get together, like in the carving session maybe, or like just like hanging and just maybe eating, that's what makes Tahoma Indian Center, like that.
Well, it's like a native term called is, our relations from different nations. Like even though we come from different nations, even though we have different cultures, we still align within this. We've all been oppressed. Our family comes pre 1492, before Columbus, before all this. So no matter what skin color we are, no matter where you come from, South Dakota, Arizona, here or wherever, it's still that we all understand each other. So that's why it's like you're my relation, no matter where you're at, because we all are underneath the same oppression. We all have lost stuff, in this country because of colonization.
Yeah. Bueno, pues no sé ustedes, queridos radioactivos, yo he estado aprendiendo bastante de esta conversación, aunque he tenido ya otras previas, obviamente fuera del aire con mi amigo Frank, pero no sé ustedes, cuando yo viví en México y pues miraba los programas de televisión producidos aquí en Estados Unidos, las caricaturas, puso en mi mente una idea muy errónea o muy diferente, muy de lo que nuestros hermanos nativos aquí en Estados Unidos son, por lo regular siempre como que las películas o las caricaturas los ponían como que si ellos fueran los malos de la película, los que asaltaban las diligencias, los que atacaban los fuertes y todo eso, Entonces crecimos con una mentalidad así, pero lo peor de todo, ¿verdad? Es que pues también es una responsabilidad de cada uno, pues el educarnos, el instruirnos, el conocer, ¿verdad? Prácticamente pues cuántos grupos hay, qué diferentes, ¿verdad? Las historias, y obvio, pues no nos vamos a convertir en una biblioteca humana, pero al menos lo básico de cuando llega uno a un lugar y conocer a uno, pues conocer a los vecinos, conocer a su comunidad. Es por eso que le pedí de favor a Frank que tuviéramos esta conversación, porque no solamente me interesaba ayudar a visibilizar un poquito con nuestra comunidad latina, pues la existencia de una organización como Tahoma Indian Center, a quienes le estamos muy agradecidos también porque hemos podido pues hacer un compañerismo, ¿no? Ellos nos están ayudando también a nosotros existir, ¿verdad? Coexistir. No siento yo que todavía hayamos podido corresponder de la misma manera, ¿verdad? Pero tampoco esperan que lo hagamos, ¿verdad? Sino simplemente, bueno, pues nos ayudan con algunas cosas, algunos recursos, ¿no? Tenemos algunos proyectos en común. Así que el conocerlos un poquito más a través de esta invitación me hace sentir muy, muy feliz. Pero también, bueno, pues haciendo un sumario de lo que estamos platicando, ¿no? Con Frank, es pues notando la misión y la visión del centro, nos da a entender que, pues, por ejemplo, hay personas que pertenecen a una tribu, ¿no? En el caso de él, que su grupo, su gente, su tribu, prácticamente sus raíces están en México, ¿verdad? Los apaches mexicanos no tienen tal vez una conexión con las tribus de aquí tan directa, porque obviamente pues son tribus que han viajado, hay personas que como individuos han llegado aquí y aunque son nativos también, aunque son de tribu, pero eso no automáticamente crea una conexión de amistad, ¿verdad? Con las tribus locales de aquí. Entonces, siempre hay como una brecha, él le llama pues el área gris, ¿verdad? Ahora sí que en donde el tener una organización que le dé la bienvenida a todos los miembros de diferentes tribus, en donde puedan pues conocerse, convivir, ¿no? Encontrar lo que los une, encontrar tal vez hablar tal vez a lo mejor de sus diferencias históricas o cosas así, es siempre bastante, yo diría que importante en nuestra comunidad. Entonces, vamos a continuar conociendo un poquito más de lo que hace, pero en la organización, pero en esencia es precisamente ser ese lugar a donde las personas que como él en algún punto de la vida llegan aquí y sepan que hay una organización que puede guiarlos en el proceso de conseguir ayuda si la necesitan, de ayudar a otros también si los necesitan, de, como él dijo, yo buscaba un lugar en donde poder platicar con gente como yo después de haber pasado por todos estos lugares en donde no encontraba realmente pues alguien que pudiera tal vez entenderme un poco mejor o lucir como yo, sentirse como yo. Entonces, por el contrario, ¿no? Encontró discriminación, encontró pues algunas cosas que no le ayudaban a su desarrollo como persona. Y bueno, pues aquí está el día de hoy. So I made like a brief summary, of what we were talking about, but with highlighting the job that Tahoma Indian Center does. I would like to maybe mention some of the things, some of the services that you guys help to provide or either connect with people that come from like different tribes, different groups. Mm-hmm. And like what do you guys like mainly help with for
it's really just we've turned into more of like a community center. Okay. So it's really like a place for Native people to come to connect, like you were saying earlier, to connect, to unwind, to feel like outside of the greater community, right? So they could just eat lunch, join a carving with someone like Rick who's been carving for 66 years, or we change out our events. Like sometimes there's beading, sometimes there's regalia making, sometimes it changes all the time, and we have like health sovereignties that kind of promote positive health. That's kind of like one of our driving goals is to help the greater Native community to feel more welcome, to reconnect with our culture, reconnect with other people, because it's that you may relations from different nations, even though I don't know you from this guy, we still connect underneath common ground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's back to like the original reason why the Indian Center was created, was to because in this world,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's usually black or white, and that's generally what it is. And then so it always seems like Native people are kind of like forgotten in the story,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's like, we started the story.
Yeah. Bueno, lo que le pregunté a Frank en este último segmento es cuáles son esos servicios que principalmente ellos como organización ofrecen. Y aunque, bueno, ahorita le voy a preguntar un poquito más específico porque he visto allí material, literatura en la oficina que seguramente distribuyen a las personas, pero dice que principalmente ellos son como el primer punto de contacto, digamos, pues físico, ¿verdad? Porque tienen un lugar físico, una oficina en donde las personas pueden venir y desde algo tan simple como disfrutar un lunch con ellos, platicar, escuchar las historias. También ayuda la convivencia con otras personas que tal vez han pasado por el mismo proceso o por las mismas necesidades. Entonces, es básicamente el ser el punto de contacto para varias personas, para familias, ¿no? Para grupos que pueden reunirse, obviamente, ¿verdad? Personas que se sienten pues como él, que son miembros de un grupo, miembros de una tribu, pero que tal vez están lejos de esa tribu, de ese grupo al que ellos se sienten o al que ellos pertenecen. Entonces, pues este es un punto en donde pueden venir, sentarse con otras personas, platicar, convivir, comer y pues encontrar tal vez esos intereses que puedan tener en común, aparte como estos tal vez recursos que yo voy a mencionar en este momento. I was asking you about those, like what you guys like, let's say, provide, because I've been in the office and I seen like literature there, like flyers, like
Mm-hmm.
brochures, like of maybe other organizations where they provide like the services, and you guys are here like the ones that invite people to come and get together and enjoy lunch, enjoy conversation, get
Mm-hmm.
to know each other. People with similarities, but also like a place where they can like get maybe that information, those resources, right?
Yeah, like a resource
So like
center,
a resource center.
Well, that's why we also
yeah.
have like internet access with computers and
Mhm.
printing, because a lot of stuff, especially like the unhoused community, don't
Yeah.
have access. We have free Wi-Fi, don't have access to things, so everything we provide in our whole place is free.
Mhm.
We even have like a Camp Rosie, which is actually this May
Mhm.
for kids 7 to 17, where everything is provided. 3 days of camping.
Okay.
It's a grief and loss camp to help kids that we have culture with camping activities, with walking, connecting with nature.
Yeah.
So it's the balance of saying, let's enjoy the camp, but let's also talk about why we're here. And because with kids, it's very difficult to understand loss. And it's difficult at any age, especially as a kid, because you haven't created that understanding of life yet, really.
Yeah.
So, and it started in 2023. Colette started it, and it's just go out, kids have fun. Everyone's sharing their loss and is connecting on that level. And so I'm really grateful to work in a place like this, because I've always wanted to, because it's always just been manual labor jobs. So I feel blessed to be in the situation I'm at. And it's kind of funny bouncing around all these years and then ending up in a place I love, doing something I love, helping people, helping the community, meeting great people, you included.
Lo que nos contesta Frank a la pregunta que le hice sobre los recursos, porque él creo que pues se fue un poquito más por la misión principal de la organización, pero Ahora sí que acertadamente nos dijo, sí, efectivamente, cuando llegan las grupos, las familias, las personas, tenemos material, tenemos literatura, inclusive computadoras que pueden prestarles a las personas para navegar y ayudarles a navegar, a encontrar lo que están buscando. A veces el venir y que alguien te eche una manita con nombres de organizaciones, nombres de lugares donde proveen los recursos que tú estás buscando. Eso es también lo que hace esta organización. Así que, bueno, mencionó también actividades, eventos que hacen, por ejemplo, pues para los niños, ¿no? Organizan un campamento. Es verdad que hay muchos chicos que sus padres tal vez no tienen el tiempo pues como para tener esas experiencias con ellos, la información, la falta de conocimiento, los recursos, o hay veces en que la situación económica no permite porque pues están tal vez no ganan lo suficiente los padres, o a veces un solo padre, una sola madre es la que se está encargando de la familia. Entonces pues imagínense, ¿no? Creo que muchos tuvimos la suerte de pues tal vez de experimentar el salir de campamento, el tal vez salir a hacer un viajecito, una cosa así. Tuvimos la oportunidad de conocer el mar viviendo en las ciudades lejanas, ¿no? A la costa, pero no todos los niños tienen esa oportunidad. Entonces, pues en el caso de las familias, ¿no? De las tribus, personas que son nativas y que no han tenido oportunidad de mandar a los hijos a una experiencia así, pues ellos también son una de estas organizaciones que pueden ayudar con esto. Así que I really like that. I was saying that many kids that we didn't have the opportunity, well, I was a lucky one to have maybe grandparents that were living far from the city, and they were like agricultural workers, and they have those experiences of like working with growing like vegetables and having like a property with trees with fruit and that kind of stuff. I had the opportunity. I also was very lucky to go camping at least one time in my childhood, you know, but not all the kids have those opportunities or those experiences, because either they are in a family of a single parent, which, you know, all they do is try to thrive, you know, with one job, two jobs sometimes, and the kids like you know, so that's why it's like I really like that part, you know, like that one of the activities, one of the events that you guys like organize for, like give that opportunities to kids. So is there something else that you like to share about the Tahoma Indian Center? Maybe something we have not mentioned, like I don't know, what is like the days where people can come and maybe and knock at your door, and you know, like,
Monday through Friday,
okay.
9 to 1.
9 to 1, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for
you
know, the interview, for opening your heart, your story, for sharing it with our listeners, and pleasure. Also for speak about how much you love your job. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Pues me estoy despidiendo, agradeciéndole a Frank por su tiempo, por haber venido a abrir su corazón con nosotros, prácticamente por compartir su historia personal, también por platicarnos de lo que es Tahoma Indian Center, los servicios que ofrecen, los recursos que tienen, y también pues compartirnos esa pasión que tiene por su trabajo. Así que pues muchísimas gracias a ustedes que estuvieron atendiendo esta entrevista de Tacoma Radio Universal presenta, un programa, una entrevista especial. Las tenemos de vez en cuando con personas también pues muy especiales. Así que pues nos vemos en la próxima emisión. Thank you, Frank, and we'll see you on the next one. And hi to all the awesome team members and the awesome director at the Tahoma Indian Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you.